right in the heart of the Super League season, but any rugby league fan will tell you that they're looking forward to the end of this year for a really special reason. The Rugby League World Cup 2021 will be held in this country, and it's rightly claiming to be one of the most inclusive tournaments of its kind. As well as the men's, women's and wheelchair tournaments, the learning disability tournament will be included as well. There's all sorts going on. Now, one of the country's largest social charities is Community Integrated Care, who are the official social care partner to the Rugby League World Cup 2021. John Hughes is the organisation's Director of Partnerships and Communities, and he joins us on Try Time. Good evening, John.
Hi, Steve. Great to be here. Time.
Wow. I'm telling you what, me and you spoke on this programme a couple of years ago about when we knew that the World Cup was coming along and all that would go along with it. And in particular, how you and your organisation were asked to get on board and wanted to get on board, John. And now we're 6 months away from it, where you're up to. Tell us a little bit about where you've got to at this point.
Yeah, the programme's really remarkable. We've created the first ever inclusive volunteering project at a major event. So we've got 300 people who have learning disabilities, autism, a whole range of support needs, having a chance to be part of projects that will change their lives. And honestly, the work is so diverse at the moment. We've got everything from creating a big community garden in St Helens, through to people having a chance to be on a media club and interview stars of the Super League, through to even a young gent in Warrington who loves Warrington Wolves, and he also loves rap. He's going to have a rap masterclass with a top-class record producer. So the project's really diverse, really interesting, but across everything is about trying to give people the best experiences possible.
Absolutely. And it's all a good fit with the sport of rugby league, John. I mean, what about the professional, the top end of the game, the Rugby League World Cup organisation itself? John Dutton, we know, is the chief executive. He's been on this show plenty of times. Has he embraced all this work that you're doing as well?
Yeah, absolutely. The whole organisation behind the World Cup have embraced it. And I think what's really inspiring is to see that they recognise that the tournament should be for everyone. Like, everyone should have an equal opportunity to be part of what will be a remarkable event. So that really spans all sorts of things. We've got people we support who meet tournament organisers every month to advise them on accessibility. There has never been a tournament that has had a social care partner. There's never been an event globally that's had a focus on people with learning disabilities, autism, other support needs, having the chance to be part of that event through volunteering and through projects. So it's absolutely incredible.
I mean, John, you've got so much going on, because as well as working on the projects that you're currently doing, working towards the World Cup when it finally gets underway as well, you, and I'll spare your blushes to the listeners, I say it every time, you created personally the Learning Disability Super League itself, right? It was up and running. We all know what happened with the world in the last 12 months. Everything had to stop. So did that Super League. Is it ready to get going at all?
Yeah, we're really excited that the Learning Disability Super League's coming back this Sunday. So it's starting off really, really small. We're starting off with big festivals, but where clubs are playing their own teammates. But then obviously as the COVID restrictions lift, we'll start to have the chance to bring it back in a safe way as to what it used to be previously. So we are hoping they will have the chance to play at St James's Park at Magic Weekend. I think the World Cup will create some unbelievable opportunities, but it's going to be probably an even bigger year than the year that we launched it. I think the players can look forward to some amazing experiences. And, you know, the chance to not only play in rugby league, but now we're giving people the chance to work and volunteer in it as well. So I think even though it's been a really turbulent year, actually it's led to some really positive opportunities in the long run.
John, what about then the last 12 months? I mean, your plans were obviously in place. You had timelines for everything. We know what's happened in the last 15 months to the world itself. What about to your plans for the World Cup and your involvement, your organisation's involvement? How have you been able to sort that out?
Yeah, it's been very tricky. We really saw entering into 2020 this huge year for the Learning Disability Super League, and this really clear roadmap for the Rugby League World Cup, and that was turned upside down. And the easiest thing for us to do would be to drop the projects, especially the World Cup projects. And you've got to see this in the context for our charity. People have been working literally day and night trying to keep people safe and trying to run our services and all those different things that you can imagine are the day-to-day reality of running a care provider during COVID. But we didn't want to drop things, so for the Learning Disability Super League, we created a weekly programme where people have the chance to train at home with professional videos, and you're receiving postcards from World Cup nations, and that's unbelievable. That you'd literally go on social media and you would see like loads of people from across the country getting fit, still having that sense of being connected to teams. The Learning Disability Super League became like a virtual programme. And then in terms of the Rugby League World Cup project, we had like one really clear view, which would be we're going to be working with people face to face, like directly with individuals. And obviously that wasn't possible, but so much of it's been doing things through Zoom and through toolkits, and in loads of ways that's made the project even bigger. You can do a group media project, you can do a group photography project, you can train people across the country how to dance. So weirdly, finding our way through to the solution was really difficult, but the place we've got to, weirdly, has ended up being much better.
Wow, it's amazing how it works out like that, isn't it, John? Tell you what, let's concentrate on one project at the minute, a current one, if you like. Well, something that happened at the weekend just gone by. Because one of your volunteers, a lad who was in this studio a couple of years ago with you and I, Dylan Prinsep, he's a learning disability player, but he's been involved last weekend in another project you put together. Tell us about that. Yeah,
Dylan is a natural media presenter. I think at some point Steve's going to be coming for your job. That lad is a really charismatic, brilliant, like so good at like media. So we'd spotted that Dylan had been doing his own videos on YouTube called Planet Dylan, where he would talk about Warrington Wolves and the things he's been getting up to in his life. And you look at that and think, oh, we can do some amazing things for Dylan through the World Cup. So Dylan signed up for our media project. He's had the chance to host a video programme where he interviewed Jodie Cunningham live. So he had the chance to be like a television presenter in front of a live audience. And then last week, Dylan and a number of our media club members had the chance to host the press conference for the Women's Challenge Cup final. And that for them was such a buzz. Like you could see the effort he'd put into the questions. The questions were brilliant. And you can see like people's skills developing, confidence developing with every session. So for us to be able to give people like Dylan the chance to follow his dreams and to be part of things he might not otherwise get the chance to be part of, that's an absolute privilege.
Absolutely, John. Well, we're going to give Dylan the opportunity, or rather the other way round, our Tri-Time listeners the opportunity to hear that press conference that Dylan held with the women players involved in last Saturday's Challenge Cup final, St Helens and York. And this is how it went.
I'm joined by Paige Travish, Amy Hardcastle and Faye Gaskin, who all plays for Saints. And from York, we have Alicia Clayton and Katie Langan. But before we start, obviously, my name is Dylan. I'm a member of the media for Community Integrated Care's Inclusive Volunteering Programme at Rugby League World Cup 2021. The Betfred Women's Challenge Cup final takes place on Saturday morning, and I'm sure two great teams will create one fantastic game. And remember, for the first time, it's being shown live on BBC Two. This is a massive step in the history of women's rugby league. I think we'll start off with my question, and this is for Amy Hardcastle. So, could you give us a bit of an idea of what training had been like? Has it been any different? Because obviously it's a big game.
Every time we go into a cup like you do, like for the semis that we did or the quarterfinals, we all have to train that little bit more because you kind of have a way forward of what you're going to do in that game. So you might have a a strategy that you're going to do. So it might be doing something different that you did in the last game. So obviously our training has stepped up for the final because there's things that we need to fix, but also there's things that we need to do in our game.
Is reaching a super important final like this something you ever thought would happen in your whole life?
It's massive. It's like a dream job. So to be able to be playing in the final for the cup, it's great. You know, I've never, especially like the start of this season. Obviously, it's something that you want to aim for, but it's not something that I thought, you know, that we would be doing this season. So it's great, really good.
Yeah, definitely what Katie said. Never thought we'd have reached it yet. I know it's like our team's dream to reach that, and we've done it.
Would anyone else feel any really positive about anything?
I think things are really positive around the Saints camp because we've never got into a final as St Helens women, so the build up to the semi-final was quite big. Obviously, we had a bit of history with Leeds, and we couldn't get past them two seasons ago. So coming into this, it's either us or York. Neither of us have hit a final in the Women's Super League. There'll be someone crowned Challenge Cup winners for the first time. So I think that's real positive. And those teams who were always on the top this year didn't make it to the final. So between ourselves and York, it's going to be a really positive and exciting day.
Well, it was a positive and exciting day because Saints won the cup. Let's get back to John Hughes. John, you must have been proud of Dylan there. We're listening to him and how well he carried himself. And he wasn't the only one because there was a couple of colleagues of his as well that were involved, weren't there?
Yeah, that's it. So there's a group of 6 people on the club. But isn't it brilliant when you hear, like, someone pursuing a dream? Like you can... When we spoke to Dylan afterwards, he was absolutely made up with it and like really proud and deservedly so because he presented that press conference as well as anyone would do, and it's so exciting for us to have the chance to, you know, give him the chance to host media events at the World Cup, maybe go in a press box, and ultimately what you'd like to see for Dylan and people like him at the end of the project is, you know, maybe we'll have the chance to work and volunteer in the media in the long term because of his experience at the World Cup.
Absolutely, John. And, well, my colleague Carlos is going to be in the chair presenting the Rugby League tomorrow night, and he's looking through the glass at me, and I'm thinking it's him that's under pressure, not me. You know, from the likes of Dylan, I'm thinking, so good, yeah. So yeah, great stuff. That's only just one, like I said, John. It's just one example of the work that's being done, and